stream. Look who we have with us.
Hello.
A person who needs no introduction.
Apparently not.
You needed a better light. Step into the light, my friend.
It's feeling like a very stay in the shadows kind of day.
Totally, weirdo. Yes, everyone, I'll introduce myself. I'm Lauren. This is normally my time slot for when I do Lauren Learns Things each week. It's a stream on Twitch in which I invite my friends and colleagues to learn things from them, and I do it live, which is usually, for better or worse, an embarrassing thing because I learn a lot and also make a lot of mistakes along the way. But it's Hacktoberfest, and today joining me is my dear friend Luke. And as the new artwork on our Discord channel, your title was pretty good. Did you see what it is?
Wait, where?
Go to Discord. There's some new artwork updated for today's episode.
Oh.
It's
very good.
It says Luke, Hacktoberfest celebrity. So the chat is saying it is Luke from Vonage, and let's go on this journey together. Take me back to the beginning of Hacktoberfest and tell me how one becomes Luke from Vonage. How does this story begin, sir?
Yeah, I use Discord anyway.
Okay.
So, although there were some features of it I only learned in this Discord, which was interesting. That was kind of funny.
Such as, say more.
Oh, like sticking your links in like the little triangular bracket things. I don't know what they're called. I should know what they are because I type them a lot. It doesn't unfold them automatically. I never knew that.
Okay.
Those things. Yeah, I use Discord quite a lot. So I think it was on the first day of Hacktoberfest. I had no idea we were getting a Discord this year, let alone a channel. So yeah, I was like straight in there. So I think Hacktoberfest is great for open source. I always have. And I was straight in there and then just being really active. Know a lot about Hacktoberfest from other years.
Sure.
Feelings about like it, and I think it was much better this year. It's going to be much better next year.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was helping answer questions, I guess. So
you were present. You were just in the Discord, essentially.
Present,
yeah. No, I think that's really good advice for folks in the future. Next Hacktoberfest. I mean, we are coming upon the close. This is the final week of Hacktoberfest, which is wild. The time has flown by, I'm sure, in different ways for everyone because it was wildly hectic at the beginning, but we really got into the flow of things, I think.
Definitely. This week's been pretty quiet. I'm kind of cautious about using the Q word because now I'll go crazy.
I know, true. 2021 is going to be the return of the Luke. Y'all, this is so silly. I'm obsessed. It's so good.
Yeah, that first week was crazy, and I think on the first day, even though there was no requirement for me to be online, I did feel like there was only a few people online who could answer some of the questions that were being asked, and there was a lot of other stuff going on with like the rule change. I actually kind of felt bad, like shutting it, and so I think we were watching TV. It was like 11 p.m. We did go to bed about 11 p.m. and by that point I'd been on Discord from about 9 a.m. and I'd even had it open on my phone at this point. I was still answering questions and stuff. So
yeah, it was pulling a lot for you. I think like you were just, I felt like you were omnipresent, if you will, on the Discord, and so you were just there constantly, and that felt draining, but also like really revitalizing because people recognize that, and thus the celebrity ethos has come about because you are helpful, and I think I just don't want that to go unrecognized, and so I think definitely the folks here see that. And Karen, thanks also for the recent follow. Karen says you definitely need some more coffee. Oh, but it's pretty late in it's like 2:00 in your afternoon.
Yeah,
do you do caffeine post afternoon? You do.
I don't function without coffee. I've got water at the moment, but I need coffee all day.
Do you?
I think I was awake at like 4:30 because my son was here with daylight savings changes. He's just like, oh, it's 5:30, I'm hungry.
Oh, sure, of course.
Like, no, go back to bed.
Yeah, that's hard. How do you teach them that? Yeah.
We were all up and then went downstairs, made myself a cup of coffee. That was the last of the coffee in the house.
Rats.
How am I going to survive today? So as I started work, Amory walked the dog and she went and got more coffee, just for lunch.
She's the best. Nick, welcome to the chat. Hello, everyone that is here with us. So happy to see you all. This has been so fun to, kind of build up the community of folks that join us in these chats. Our daily streaming will technically end come the end of Hacktoberfest, but we should say that we stream every day with our other shows and whatnot that we have. So we will see you all in the future moving forward, and we will continue to get Luke to join us on that because fan favorite. I selfishly was like, come join mine.
I keep having ideas to stream, and then like we were in a meeting last week, and I said, oh, we should do this, and you were like, go on then.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Was I a little too terse with you on that? Because give y'all some context. It was my charge at the beginning of the year. The task was given, like, Lauren, build a stream channel for the team. Figure this out, make it happen. And I think we've done a somewhat, we have different episodes and different shows that happen each week. And, there have been changes throughout, but we now are streaming, 8 times a week, which is incredible, really cool. But now I'm in the place where when people have ideas, I'm like, okay, make it happen. Go for it, Luke. And so he comes to the team call being like, hey, what if we have an open source stream that happens and people from the community join? Yeah, I am sharing the idea right here. And I say, okay, cool. Pause, do it. And I think you were like, what? I think I was a little forceful on that. So my bad.
No, I think it's always good as well you're a manager in our team, and it's always good to have managers that are willing to say, look, just go do it. Because often you don't get that sort of encouragement to try stuff. I certainly haven't always had it in previous employments. Yeah,
I would so much rather us just like you. I would love and those of you in the chat, I'm sure, let me know if you think this would be a stream you'd watch where Luke brings folks on and interviews them that are like open source enthusiasts and just kind of understand what they love about it, or maybe what they are a maintainer for, or participant contributor, big time contributor would be kind of cool too. I think that could be really interesting. They're also just in the chat. I'm not sure if you're aware of what's happening right now. That the hashtag Give Luke a Raise is happening. That's trending from a lot of folks. So I'm blowing that up. And then Luke-tastic and Luke-astic is really happening, as well as Luke-alicious.
Cheers, Aaron.
I don't think it was bad to ask Luke to do it, but yelling, Luke, do it now. Why are you still here? Yes, okay. Get off the call. Hacktoberfest 365 with Luke from Vonage. I'd watch that show.
I could probably do a 24-hour stream. I'm not sure I could do a 365 stream.
Can't do one every day. Aaron doesn't want to come on to meet because he can't meet your heroes. You guys are so ridiculous.
Oh, thanks, Aaron.
Oh, God. So, yeah, I think that could be really cool and something that we need to come up with a name for it, though. Your open source stream name. So any ideas, please?
If I was more awake, I'd come up with something that was a pun as well.
Oh, yeah, we're not shy of those. Has I told you all? Oh my gosh, y'all! I used to be an English teacher, so that was an embarrassing moment for me just now. Have I told you all the story of how we got this stream name for the Thursday time slot? It was supposed to be an ad hoc day in which anyone on our DevRel team could pick up the slot and join the stream. It's a steady, always happening on this Thursday. And I was just loosely calling it this like ad hoc day, random, come whenever, but do we want to get like branding for it, build up a name, etc. I mistakenly put it to a Slack bot poll where we just could toss out ideas and then everyone could vote. I think it was BBB. I think Michael was the one that tossed out new stream ... who dis, and it exploded. All of a sudden, everyone voted, and I just then was publicly kept, yes, it was.
You had no choice.
Democracy in action, 100%. Everyone publicly saw that it won by a landslide, and so then suddenly that was the name of the Vonage stream. And yeah, every Thursday, if you ever want to join us, new stream Who Dis. It's a new it's a new host every episode, and you get to meet different people from our team and kind of see different. Martin, for example, our manager, is going to be doing it this week and should be super fun. He's going to be doing lots of data stuff, some insights, API, but it's just kind of a fun way to be introduced to different folks on our team. But it's really silly that now that's the name of it, to my chagrin.
That was funny. And
I'd say it was a learning moment for me for sure. Because
don't put things to vote.
Don't put things to vote unless I really am fine, no, exactly. You submitted it as a joke, and then it took off, and suddenly people thought it was hilarious, and then I just was sitting there being like, I guess, and it's a good moment for me too. All right, got a sense of humor. It's okay.
This happened with that research festival, didn't it? The Sir David Attenborough, and it ended up being Boating McBoatface. That's what won the poll. And
it happens. I think the power to the people. It's just a reminder. If you're in the U.S., make sure you vote. I voted on Saturday. Saturday, and I only waited 10 minutes. It was I was in and out in 10 minutes. So I know that it's.
Wow.
I was so lucky. My spot was really, there were a lot of people there. It was just the volunteers had to expedite it. It was so fast and easy, and, take some time to spend some time researching all the different things and the different, smaller kind of election pieces. But it was very simple, straightforward. So Boating McBoatface. Yes. Sure. Yeah. But honestly, because of the new format, each person, it works well. No, I agree. I think the vote for your title of your name so far is the Luke Show, and then we'll abbreviate it just to be TLS.
Yeah,
oh my God, cute! Then we can do commercials. Luke from Vonage. We got to start making commercials for these. That's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. Something like our intro music.
Oh my God.
I love our intro music.
I love our intro music.
It made me jump because it was quite loud. I'm not sitting here with the camera on. Because there was a pause. I was sitting here, the camera on, mic on, just sitting here reading Slack, and then all of a sudden you cued it. I was like, oh, wait now.
Wait, this is really cute. Nick, the Luke O Show by Luke O Codes. Cute. The Luke O Show where Luke O Codes. I love it. Hey, that copy. Haven't seen you in the chat before. Welcome. So happy to have you here. And we got a recent follow from Behringer. So thank you. We appreciate you. Luke. Oh, yeah, that's cute too. Luke Driven Development. Yeah. Oh, the alligator pineapple igloo. What he's talking about are our Vonage commercials where people they guess what API stands for. This is really silly. Yes, good question. Are the Vonage socks still available? Let me show y'all what we are talking about here, just because.
Have you got some? Oh, I thought you were going to pull some out then.
Oh, wouldn't that be so fabulous if I could actually have a prototype? Let's take a look at what we're talking about. About the socks are right here. So make one valid contribution to our repo, and you can earn either a $5 open collective, gift card, and then or a pair of socks. So then here is the link to this Hacktoberfest. So they ran a similar competition to name the gritters in Scotland. The winning name was Gritsy Bitsy Teeny Yellow Anti-Slip Machinery. That is so funny. Luke Oliff, that's cute too.
I like Luke Oliff.
I like Luke Oliff. Socks with Luco faces. Oh my gosh. I think I need that. I think I need that sooner. Whatever. No Luke faces on socks. Oh, that's so good. I thought it was 5. Oh, only 1. Yeah, no, it's only 1. So yeah, just make 1 valid contribution. That's kind of what we were going to talk about today. But the other thing I wanted to shout out. Oh, I know. I couldn't think for a second, but it's that our final Hacktoberfest Tuesday is today. And it's this one, the one based in Europe or for Europe time zone. They're remote. They're based everywhere. They exist in the cloud, but it is at the 6 p.m. time zone for you. So that's 4 hours from now, less than.
Yeah, less than.
Am I right on that?
3 3/4 hours.
What's up, Matt? Welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Make it as a design for the Luco shirt. Yeah, Luke from Vonage socks. That's cute. Yeah, full of energy. I'm never not. Time to do a read-me task for the language. Yeah, I have a sickening amount of energy. It's painful to be us together are a funny combo, actually.
I'm not going to agree with that, but
no, but like you and I, yeah. Anyway, okay, so this Hacktoberfest, if it's not too late to register, it's totally free. The link that I put in the chat from a moment ago, I'll do it again. Enter Hacktoberfest as a command. And you can go there, you'll be brought to this page, and then you click to log in and register, and then you navigate back to this page once the time is happening. It's a 3-hour-long event. They have been incredible so far. We have speakers who come and just give the history of open source, talk about what it's like to make your first pull request and to find issues, kind of the art of finding issues. And then we just have demos of really cool recent open source contributors, et cetera, and people that are involved in the community. And then we have hack time, where you can actually speak with mentors and folks from our DevRel team and ask for feedback and advice on making pull requests within our repos. So back to the sock piece, if you're super jazzed about that, this is an incredible resource for you to come participate, be a part of the community. And yeah, I mean, the way that it functions is we kind of have these like breakout tables within the platform Remo so that we can genuinely chat and talk to one another and get to know each other. Like, I mean, silly icebreakers and stuff like that, but have authentic conversations. So it is pretty neat. You've attended them, Luke, yeah?
I haven't attended one yet.
Oh,
I can't remember why.
On the spot. Well, they're like smack dab in our workday usually, or super early or super late.
I think they've been kind of random hours, and 6 p.m. tonight. I probably could make the beginning of it.
So Hugh Rawlinson, that's a very hard word for me to say for some reason. It's talking about some cool audio JavaScript project. Very cool. Yes, they are a great time. And we are not related. Are on the same team. We are developer educators at Vonage. So how would you describe a developer educator? What does that mean to the outside universe, Luke?
It's a part of developer relations.
Okay, we're in DevRel, true.
We're in DevRel, yeah. I'd say developer educators concentrate more on producing content to help developers learn about products.
Yes, yeah.
I hope, because it's kind of my job. I should know it.
No, I think we make code to educate. Yeah, I think the piece is that we come from the lens of education on how to use our APIs. So for example, I was an English teacher, have my master's in the art of teaching liberal studies before I learned to code. And so I come from this like pedagogical lens of how to help make sense of all types of learners. What's the best way to make sense of something, to break it apart, break it into chunks, like consumable pieces of content to then reproduce and demonstrate a level of understanding that is like deep and not just surface level. So Just trying to think about like how we can create blog posts or tutorials or videos, streams that help people understand what our APIs do and cool ways to kind of push the boundaries of what's possible with them too. I think that's the place that we live in. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say that's spot on. Yeah.
Oh, here's Noreen coming in. Heck yes. She says, to create technical content for long-tail developers around Vonage's entire suite of APIs, from the written word to video and live streaming and much more. Oh, get it, girl. Yes. That's
First
it.
question is, what's a long tail? Is Martin in the chat?
That's super fair. Benjamin says, was trying to explain to a friend what would make a great dev ed, couldn't find a blog anywhere online. Well, then maybe we should write one. I mean, we could I would say type up what we just said, because I feel pretty good, but maybe we weren't. Maybe we're using our language. So, you're not supposed to use words in the definition of, maybe we're zooming too far. So how do we explain what a long tail developer is? Oh, this is just concise. Developer educators educate developers.
I think that is the best way of putting it, to be honest.
Oh, you're quoting Martin. That's a Martin quote. Okay, well then let's get Martin on the stream and get him to explain what the heck he means by. I mean, long tail. We mean people that discover us organically and are not necessarily a paid subscriber or a client of Vonage, who has then like a whole sales team associated to them, and people that genuinely like craft and change the product for their needs. We're hoping to find people in the development phase while you're searching you are building an app and you're like, gosh, I wish I could send a text message, or I wish that I could have it add a chat bot. And then your search naturally brings you to, or because you've heard of us before, you're like, oh, I wonder if I could use Vonage with this. And then you dive into some tutorials and naturally find us in the space of just like searching and need. And we are like organically, hopefully, the one that will be helpful for that. And hopefully we're present in the community enough that you could ask us questions while you're building something out. I think that seems like, Mac, you're right. My MacBook is not charging. I have too fancy of a camera and it pulls too much from my machine. Although I don't normally stream during this time. I've been thinking about using this time, but right now it's too freaking bright outside. It like whitewashes me. So I need to figure out, this is my view right now in Miami. And so
just showing off now.
I guess so. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that normally I stream later in the day when the sun hits it. Anyway, just trying to get back good. So. It is nice view. Yeah, it is of the ocean. I'm in Miami, whereas Luke is not. We are far away from one another.
Yeah, I am in gloomy England, very wet today and cold and windy. It's awful.
It's no longer. It feels like it's transitioned even from fall. Like winter is upon you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that when daylight savings happens here.
True, and it has. Right, we're a week off from each other right now.
Yeah.
Luke is in his childhood bedroom. No, he's not.
It's not. I'm over in the same country.
Yeah, it's definitely nursery now. Oh, you're out my window is a rainy gray sky and a messy hedgerow. It's rather poetic now. You're in dark. Yeah, well, like it's really late for you, isn't it? So it's dark. It's dark. That's a virtual background. No. Yeah. So, okay. So let's see. Let's just go through the things to do still. If y'all have not signed up for Hacktoberfest Tuesday, our final one is airing in just 3.5 hours. It's going to be super fun for the community. Come and participate, be a part of it. And it's as interactive as you want it to be. I know that sounds not super fun for some folks. Some people are craving, conversation. So it's kind of best of both worlds. If you want to, engage in conversation with folks, you can. If you just want to sit there and consume the content, you can do that also. So totally welcome for that. And then we also, let's check and take a look at the Hacktoberfest stream schedule. We have remaining today's the 27th. We have these 3 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday remaining. I do want to shout out this Friday final stream because we've just last week decided that it's not just going to be Paul. And in fact, we are going to invite all the folks who have been on streams throughout this month to come and be a part of it. So Luke, hopefully you'll be there. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Yeah, I'll be there. It's already in the diary.
It's in the diary. Okay, good. Oh no, Nick, it's early. It's 7:30. I had the opposite for you. Q. Luke, Dev Life History. Would love to hear that.
I can if you want, if you've got time.
Actually, wait, you know what? I think, Benjamin, you're on the stream right now. We have updated this live stream. So can we please update this? This is me tasking something out while on a live stream. So my bad. But can we do a date for this one? We've moved it a couple hours ahead so that it is, I'm sorry, like later in the day. I'm not sure the vernacular on that. We've moved it to be, I think, 3 hours later in the day. It's on the Google Calendar. Maybe we didn't update the ticket, so it might be on that. Yeah, exactly. We are just in a different, time zones are really funky right now. We definitely need some fixing. Agreed. What is Slack? It's a way that we communicate.
Discord without voice.
It's Discord, yeah, exactly. But some other different features. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Benjamin. No, don't. We're not. It's not that it's out of date. We just have some updates to it. That's okay. Yes, and if you would like to join our community Slack, here's a link to do so. All right. And yes, right. Discord. Luke, developer history. Go.
So I was in IT first, doing. I was an IT manager. And I did these things called Crystal reports. So I had to learn a load of SQL.
Okay.
Crystal, I think it got bought by SAP. But it was basically like this. You draw what you wanted an output of a printable report to be, and then you would do queries in like the little boxes, and the queries would pull in table data, which you could then either visualize or display the data. Mm-hmm. So I did a load of SQL courses, and I'd learned PHP like at school, which was kind of where coding started for me, but I never really did anything with it. I never took any courses. I became this IT manager because I was in sales for this company, and I knew how to fix my own computer. So when the IT director decided he didn't want to do IT anymore, he went, "You can do it." And
you seem to be puttering about with knowledge in your head.
Exactly. I was in the right place at the right time. The guy completely, he took a chance on me, took me under his wing, really. I owe a lot to him.
Was it kind of like a mentor for you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. For like 4 years.
Wow. So did you like the sales portion of it when you were doing that side of things? Oh, you just took the job. How did you end up in that, though? Like, what brought you to the sales piece?
I had no qualifications. I didn't do
needed a job.
I didn't do well at school. I did mechanics at college. I didn't have a driving license, so I couldn't go get employed as a mechanic. Sure. So, and I was living by myself at this point, at like a really young age. So I didn't earn enough to pay for lessons and rent. So it was kind of like it was a difficult time. Sure. This guy took a chance on me, and it paid. Eventually, it paid quite well for someone with no qualifications. So I was quite good in sales as well. I was better at churning out quotes than I was. I couldn't be dishonest and sell to people. I felt like I was being dishonest if I was trying to sell to people. I couldn't do that. So I just churned out quotes, and it was more like quantity over quality. But then, I ended up getting this IT job. And then as time went on, I decided that I wanted to do the web side of things, because I built those Crystal reports. I kind of replaced them with an intranet. Okay. Using Lucid charts.
And it was just total like on the job learning what you needed to get done. You learned that based on what you essentially needed in the role.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
And I went from there to a job where I was doing some like design and development.
Interesting.
We were using this thing called DHTMLX, No, was that it? Yeah, DHTMLX. It was like I think it was a JavaScript library for real-time. It was really early JavaScript library for like real-time web applications. It was horrible. I wouldn't use it now. Learned a lot about that.
And then, so when you were applying for that, like more that role, that kind of next level up, were you showing what you had done in that IT role as that was your portfolio essentially?
Again, it was someone, they were looking for someone that was like an all-rounder who knew SQL stuff, but I didn't have a load of experience. So they asked me to show what I could do, and I showed them the internet that I built. And they were like, "This is really good. We need someone that can just think for themselves and build stuff." So they took a chance on me, and I kind of moved from one mentor to another. So and I think they both ended up coming to my wedding in the end. I mean, a
good mentor. I think there's an art in finding someone that you want to learn from, has the time. I think, naming that ask too, when you're asking someone to learn from them, and really understanding what it is skill-wise that they have, you're coming to the table and asking for support to learn from. I think there's something really, it's tough to do, but it's a crucial. I mean, you'll find so few people that are where they are in a place of success. It's like loosely defined, that haven't had someone help them along the way.
Yeah, and then I had a string of development jobs after that. Some were in teams, some weren't. And every time I seemed to go up a level of seniority, I always worked with people that I could just sponge information off of, because I didn't have this formal learning, and I always ended up working with people that did. So I just absorbed this information.
Sure.
We work with Greg now. I met him at one of those jobs. We worked together before. But one of our mutual friends, he actually helped me get my head around like object-oriented programming for PHP. Cool. So I had none of that at the time. Had no experience in that at the time, and I just kind of absorbed this information off him. And then immediately, as soon as I felt like I knew enough, kind of arrogantly, I went, "Well, I'm going to get a better job now." And then about 3 weeks after I started that job, I hated it. I hated the people. I hated the manager. And I actually went back to my old boss and I went, can I have my old job back?
Yeah.
He said, his exact words were, "I would say yes, but I don't think it would be good for you."
Because you had plateaued, there wasn't.
Yeah, I had. He recognized that. And as a CTO, he actually said to me, he doesn't expect developers to stay under him if they're going to go on to have like a really successful career for more than 2 years, because they will plateau and they just won't learn anymore. They'll be very good developers for them, but it won't be what's best for the individuals. And he was very supportive in the way of, no, you can't just make the best of this, or find something that we can make even better. And I just carried on. I just put my head down, just kept going. And I just went for a while, job to job. In fact, it's still a joke with my family that I don't stay at jobs very long, even though my track record says that I do. It's just there was like a short period where I think I had,
you were jumping
4 development jobs within 2 years, and they were like, 6 months getting another job. And
I was that way before I found Vonage, because I was just continuously searching for the same thing, like a mentor, someone to learn from and really be challenged by, but then also a space where I think here what's nice is I feel like we're continuously able to take on new tasks and challenge a new space of knowledge, or just I had no clue about the Twitch learning space, for example, before, before even earlier this year. And so it's what an interesting thing to be challenged to take stuff like this on. Because I think that is good advice. Like the moment you are not learning anything new, what's the point? It's a paycheck, sure.
Exactly. I ended up in a senior PHP engineer role. It's kind of like architecting their API for this real estate company. That's where I met Greg, actually.
Yes. Greg, who, just for those of you who don't know, we're referring to Greg. He's on our team now.
Greg from Vonage.
Greg from Vonage.
And actually, one of my big regrets for leaving there was leaving working with Greg, and that's why I referred him for a job.
And what an incredible referral. I'm so happy he's on our team. And he's now the SMS specialist, which is really cool.
He is.
I know. Yeah.
He's such a great engineer as well. And he's such a nice human being. He's great.
We're very lucky to have you, Greg, if you're watching. Not to interrupt your story, but I just need you to see what has been added to.
Oh, man. I paid for that avatar to be made as well.
Well, money well spent, sir.
That's really nice. Thank you.
Yes, very nice. Very cute.
And then I've been in that job for 3 years and nearly 3 years. I'm going to say 2.5 years. It's very important because they basically offered me shares if I'd stayed there for 3 years. And then we found out they were not worth nothing.
Interesting.
Absolutely nothing. They'd kept taking more and more investment and had not been telling us diluting our shares the entire time.
Wow.
So when we agreed to pay a certain amount for them when they vested, by the time that I found out about this and I pressed them and found out, they were worth only about £500 more than what we agreed to pay for them. And we were told they were going to pay for a house. So we're talking multiples of
you thought you were in the golden handcuffs. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So as soon as I found that out, and it wasn't a particularly nice place to work for me. Other people are fine there, but not my personality.
Sure. No.
And my son had been born and he wasn't very well, and they were insistent on me working from home, and they were insistent on me working from the office, and I needed to be at home really.
Yeah.
Just because of everything that was going on there. I just threw out applications everywhere. I threw out applications to like Microsoft, Google, blue chip companies.
Okay.
Places I knew I'd never get a job. I was just desperate to find a job that let me work from home. And then I got asked to go interview at Auth0, which was this company that I'd been using at the time for stuff, their libraries and things. And the interview process, albeit long, was surprisingly pleasant. They helped you with questions you'd have about what they asked you to do. I was asked to build an Elixir application, having never touched Erlang or Elixir before, and the job requiring you to learn to then write about things. That was going to be the job. It was very similar to what we do now in developer education.
Sure.
Like technical content. They deliberately put you out of your comfort zone, and at that point, that was just PHP for me. So went along, I learned Elixir, produced this thing. I think it took me about 2 weeks to produce it. I must have spent 30 or 40 hours on it. I found out later that my manager Kim, she spent I think 60 or 70 hours on hers when she applied. I think maybe it was upwards of 90 hours. So I felt like it took me too long. I was panicking and rushing the whole time I was doing it, and she was continuously feeding back like, "No, you're doing fine. This is great."
It's tough when an application process takes that much time out of your personal life, because not everyone, that is just complicated. You were at home with a kid. It's a complicated place to be in.
They were extremely supportive.
They were. Cool.
Process. Yeah, very supportive. No one ever put any pressure on me to get it done quicker.
I
was just in the process, and they were just waiting for it. Sure. And then I submitted it, and I got 40 comments on the pull request, and I just died inside. That was it. I thought, I've not got the job now, have I?
Yeah.
I was just convinced I hadn't got the job, and so I went and did all the comments.
Sure.
I went through them all. I corrected everything.
Talk about a way to demonstrate a commitment to something. And I think back to the fact that you were familiar with the product, and you could kind of create something based on that knowledge too. And so it's back to that open source thing. If you are someone who is, playing with or using these different libraries, whatever it is, that's a way to demonstrate to a company that you're interested in them and that you understand the ecosystem or whatever it is, or the audience that you might be working for. So it's a great tip for interviewing, I think, in general.
But they use the what do they call it, the Git editorial flow. I don't think it was ever called that back then, formally, but it's it's known as that now. It's like you have a blog, the content's in Markdown, you use GitHub for your review process. It's exactly what we do here.
What we do,
So they did that, and basically I went through the comments, I made all the changes, and I said, and I even said I kind of feel silly there were so many, and basically I was told, this is great, like you've listened to the feedback, you've applied it, we'd like to make you an offer. Like,
you're showing them what it's like to work with you in that moment. You're demonstrating what it is to be a part of the team and to get feedback, respond to it, and learn from it.
Yeah, it was incredible, actually. The whole recruitment process. It was long, tiring, but it was very valuable, and I learned an awful lot. I haven't played with Elixir since, which is kind of like a personal point of shame, because I've really enjoyed it.
We'll get doing that again.
And I managed to get the job, and I still to this day don't understand how I got that job. Like, knowing how other writers are out there, other people looking for these like technical writing jobs, still to this day don't understand how I did that. It was just there was otherworldly intervention, I'm sure. Like, that's the only explanation I have, because other people are better writers, they are better at English, they're better developers.
You're playing the game of imposter syndrome right now, right? Like, there's always going to be someone better. But
I say we can say it's imposter syndrome, but genuinely, like, to quantify like different things that I was bringing to that role at the time, like I do feel like I wasn't.
Someone was taking the risk on you. What?
Again.
Benjamin is asking, do you remember how many months that process took?
My son was 4 months old, I think, when I started applying for jobs. And by the time I started at Auth0, he was 6 months old, because he was basically still a dot. He was so small. Yeah.
This was another proposed image that has been created, popping to the stream. That code.
Now those I'd wear.
Those you'd wear, really. I love that. I like the Luke from Vonage, Hacktoberfest Celebrity, and then down at the bottom, Vonage. It's really funny. Thanks for creating that.
I don't think our brand team would like the Vonage part, but the rest of it, I love.
I love it. Then Benjamin's saying, would you consider, it was an entry level, right? I mean, that was.
Yes, it was.
It was.
More money than I've ever been paid before.
But because
entry level.
I see what you're saying. Interesting. So then tell me about, you made the jump from Auth0 to Vonage. That was like the next place.
Yeah, I kind of recognized I was kind of skirting around the edge of developer relations. We had people who are like evangelists, full-time evangelists,
right,
working with Auth0, like Ado Kukic and Joel, to name two, and they were like full-time evangelists, and what they were doing I wanted to do. I wanted to be on stage doing talks and things like that, and I thought, how can I do that? I've still not gone and done that, by the way. But how could I go and do that? So I really wanted to. I went to Hacktoberfest. I met loads of people. I went with Jeremy Meese, actually, who worked at Vonage at the time, and he's now, I think, head of DevRel at Circle CI. You'll see him in the Discord. We went to Hacktoberfest together.
Cool.
It being a train journey for me and a massive flight for him, and had a great time. Met loads of really amazing people. Two of which being Alex and Yulia, who Alex has moved on, but Yulia's still on our team. Had an amazing time with them. Met loads of other people from Vonage, because I think there was about 6 or 7 people from Nextphone, as it was then there. Drank way too much gin with them, and then it was only a couple of months later. I actually DM'd Alex on Twitter saying, "Are you hiring? Because I'm quite interested in working with you, all your team, because everyone's amazing."
Yeah.
And he actually we are. Sent in my CV. A couple of interviews later, job offer. It's just, again, it was just one of these kind of out of body experiences, getting a job offer like that to go and do basically work in a developer relations team, which had just won an award for developer relations, and and have all these amazing people around you, like Phil Legater, Martin Davies, and now Lauren.
I joined after you.
hadn't even created that team at the time to having like Lorna Jane Mitchell working in the team either, and someone that I'd actually seen at PHP conferences, and I'd read articles on a blog about PHP and stuff.
Yeah.
So that completely was out of left field. Like, that was just another bonus. Like, to work with people that you've been watching and reading content from,
learning from, and then being able to be a colleague with is so cool. Like, that is such a as you said, it's well put, out of body thing to then say, oh, we're on a team together, we get to collaborate or create together. It's such a neat opportunity. You came on not as a developer educator, as a developer advocate, right? Did you have a specific lens that you were paying attention to? I can't remember.
Yeah, I applied as the JavaScript developer advocate.
That's right.
Not realizing which bit of the JavaScript developer advocacy I was going to be taking on. It probably was said to me. I probably just wasn't paying attention. It was the client SDK. Now, not like a full-time JavaScript engineer ever at this point. I was thinking more along the Node stuff because I was a back-end engineer, and I think I probably would have really loved to do the Node SDK. I think Kelly's extremely lucky
good overall.
to be doing it now. And it was the client SDK where we actually have a team. We actually have an engineering team to build the client SDK at Vonage. And then the advocates, they support that process, or at least when I was doing it, the advocate supports that process and produces content to go with it. Tests it, does the docs for it. Like, it was generating the docs, make sure they were okay. We're doing reviews and things. So I didn't really have much input on the development of the JavaScript SDK, or at least if I was supposed to. I clearly wasn't being very good at it. So Martin was building a developer education team, and I was like, well, this is definitely more in my wheelhouse. So and Martin was actually my manager, but I worked on like part of the team for my workload. So I just went, okay, I want to be in your team.
An official.
And he went, okay.
Great. Come over to the dev ed dark side.
Yeah, there was a transition period, which took about that honestly felt like it took 3 months.
That took a while. Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of funky.
That was interesting because in the transition period, I was expecting to have to do both roles, but all I really ended up doing was the old role until the day where someone went, no, just do it, just switch now. And then Dwayne came aboard, and he's been an amazing advocate for the JavaScript for the client SDK.
For the client SDK team. No, that's so true. I think it's interesting to so when you think about the two different roles, being that on that side of it to now from dev education, what are the main, I guess, differences in places that for those that are interested in that dev education space?
So advocacy is much like traditional advocacy, at least how I understand it. Because again, I don't think it's very well defined in industry standard.
I think we probably all have our own definitions. That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's about producing the SDK and producing the docs for the SDK to wrap the API, being the voice of the developers, using the SDK to the API engineers, and helping get that feedback from the users, the people actually using the software, back to the API engineers, so to help formulate the roadmap and how the API develops. Because otherwise you're just developing for made up ideas. I mean, they need to come from somewhere. And I think that's traditional advocacy really. Whereas education is much more about what do we do with that SDK? How do we help developers learn how to use that SDK? You got the advocate that's learning, it is producing the docs, and then we've got to take those docs and turn it into, you could make this, you could make your own call center, you could make your own SMS management tool, your own phone number marketplace or something like that. Playing
around with those use cases and pushing boundaries and thinking about how to be wildly imaginative, and also partner with other APIs or companies and products to make sense of like what does a larger app look like that integrates well and plays well with others and can build something that we would genuinely, I don't know, like want to see in our personal lives or use in our day-to-day. Okay, we have another one I need to show you. A hoodie. I love that we're leaning into Hacktoberfest celebrity. I just need that piece to like be acknowledged.
I'm definitely not the only one though. I think Matt personifies.
Sure. No, I agree. Exie, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the chat. We're learning more about Luke and his path to where he is now and his journey of like his tech career essentially. And it has been wildly inspiring and really interesting, I think, for folks to hear about that. What do you hope to like? What's your dream of impact for the future? Like, what do you see in the space of developer education, DevRel, et cetera?
For our team, what I see us doing is what I want for us is to really challenge in the space of developer education. Like there are some really well-known teams, even from like a major competitor. They are known for being a developer education team when developer education isn't really a known thing. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm going to say it, Twilio Quest, it's an incredible developer education platform.
Sure.
And I want us to be able to produce something that is well known as a platform, and that's been my driver since January now, as you know. So the next year, hopefully, we're going to be having some meetings about this in the next few weeks. The next year is going to be about how to take that platform that we want to produce and turn it into content, different types of content, more content, and not just readable content, but hopefully interactive.
For me, I feel like that accesses a lot of different styles of learners, and that's a really important piece. You know, we don't hit the mark if we're only ever creating written content because not all learners tackle their journey that way. And I think that we have to be accessible in that sense of how do we engage, interact, and encourage learning to be a positive experience for all learners. And that's a tough thing to do. And I think we're getting there. And I think that this stream channel is just like, it's one of the places that we're trying to tackle that, I think, because here we can ask y'all in the chat, what is confusing for you? What part didn't work? Or where are the holes and the gaps in your learning that we can somehow support and hopefully hear back in an authentic way? And even just like the Discord that we have for Hacktoberfest, I think that's a space too for really to be tapping into audiences in a different way or learning style.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we've had a lot of feedback, actually, a lot of really positive feedback from the Discord. And everyone, even the people taking part, have actually been amazing. And I was really surprised the other day when I kind of logged, I think it was the weekend, I logged on. I've been trying not to go on the other weekend, and although it doesn't really work out that way. And I went on, and there've been a lot of questions asked by people that just joined the Discord. And questions have been answered by what we've been referring to as regulars, people that have been there since week one, and they ask questions of us at the beginning, and they're now
understand it now.
And they now understand it. They've been helping answer the questions too.
Yeah. Benjamin shouted out Kevin's stream. It's on Fridays, and it's called Build a Thing, and it's an incredible idea. He's, building a thing, a video chat and he has Hacktoberfest issues and then pull requests that he's reviewing on the stream. So it becomes super interactive for folks to, submit a PR and then be on the chat, engage in the conversation and discuss it, and then make those live updates and edits while it's happening. I think that's a really cool thing, and definitely something we want to extend beyond Hacktoberfest completely. Because, as you put it, yes, learning by doing. It's this exploratory learning that's happening. What did I do wrong? Can someone fix my code? Sure. Go on with your bad self. You can ask that question always. We all can. I think that's you are a mild member of the community, but that is kind of what this is supposed to be about, and a place just to like be present. Yes, Nick, you have contributed to Kevin Build a Thing. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that that is a really cool idea, and I think we're all able to be a part of it in a really fun way too. So yeah, it's nice. It's a really good idea. We're a community hoot.
Yeah.
Oh, it got merged. That's so exciting. Congratulations. Heck yeah. That is very cool.
What was Nick's contribution?
What was your contribution, Nick? I guess we could go look at it also.
Pronouns. User pronouns?
That'd be sick. I guess, do you want to race to see? Oh, honestly, the core Hacktoberfest community continues to blow me away. So little moderation, that is so cool to think about, right? Like that makes your job easy. It's a positive place. It's a community that we're not nervous about. And I mean, that's dreamy. It's just people participating and believing in the code of conduct too. Like, heck yeah, I love that.
Yeah, there's actually been a fair amount of belief in the code of conduct as well.
Okay, that's funny, but no, Nick says that, yes, adding the pronouns one. Thank you for doing that. That is incredible. That's an important feature. 100%. Yeah, well done. Definitely bravo. Sweet. This has been a lovely way to spend the morning, afternoon, your late afternoon together.
I wasn't expecting to give my life story, but
I did not prep you for that. We were yes, by the way, what we were going to do was simply we were going to look at, we have a ton of issues that we have to label Hacktoberfest, so we were going to go through and do that. And we were going to do that, and kind of like lift the veil on the process from the maintainer side. But this was honestly, Luke, like, thank you, way better, because I feel that is wildly inspiring for folks that are like on their journey also, and to hear about the importance of a mentor, the importance of pushing yourself and learning continuously, never feeling settled in something is a great reminder to continuously challenge ourselves. That's hard to do. It's easy. It's nice when we sometimes kind of feel like we're in a flow of things and, kind of know how to do our job, but it's a good reminder to always be pushing the boundary of that. So I think that's incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, and I feel I've been very privileged as well, because I don't think many people would have been given those opportunities when they didn't have the qualifications, and it happened to me repeatedly. So I do now, and as you know, I kind of I support people getting an opportunity.
Pay it forward.
When they wouldn't otherwise get it, and I think that I've benefited from like privilege, like massively.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I think to acknowledge your privilege, to pay it forward, to be a mentor, we have a duty to give back now that we are in industry and in the place, the roles that we love, and to, participate in that is the least we can do, right? It is so important and that's, having attended a boot camp myself, that's why I spend so much of my effort and energy working with folks that are still in boot camp and making sense of that curriculum and trying to, get something started or even begin their journey and starting to work in the Hacktoberfest, like how to make their first pull request. That stuff is tough when you're first starting out, but yeah, I think it's really important work to do. So we appreciate you. The community appreciates you. The thing that's being voted on right now is that the Hacktoberfest site turns into the Luke merch site. So we like that idea. You are a mentor for life. Let's make that happen.
I mean, if I could give some advice, like one thing that I think did help me was when someone does give you an opportunity, it's don't squander it. Like, grab it with both hands. And just wring every single second out of it. Like, do not for a moment falter in your appreciation of that opportunity, because they don't come very often. Oh, for me they did. But every time I got it, I used it.
Didn't squander it.
And it was only when my son was born that my motivations changed. Up until that point, it was a money promotion.
Sure.
That shouldn't be it, but the opportunities that came along at the time and the mentality that I was in, they managed to help me in my career. So just use the opportunities that come to you when they come along. And if you don't find them, sometimes you have to look for them.
Yeah, that's great advice. Something on my podcast I ask everyone is, when you do feel like an outsider in this industry, which it's easy to do, how do you make sense of that? How do you tackle those feelings?
That's a good one. Like, I feel like an imposter all the time, all the time. And imposter syndrome I found crippling. I've written 2 blog posts which are unpublished on Dev2 about how I find imposter syndrome crippling, and it on days like when it's really bad. Like I remember when I was at Coursera, and it's when I first heard that I was struggling to write content, struggling to finish content that I had started, and even at one point struggling to finish a post which I was rewriting from another post. So it was basically for me. And I just didn't understand how I couldn't get these words down. I couldn't get out of my way to finishing this post. And then so this other article written from another colleague who wasn't in our team, who was a part of them, I think it was done by one of the people in the marketing content team, about imposter syndrome. And I was like, I read it and I was like, this is how I feel right now. This is exactly what I'm going through. And I say going through because it genuinely was something that I was struggling with, and it was starting to reflect in my performance as well. Like I'd have meetings and I'd say, we need to fix this. Like no one was ever saying my job was at risk, but I imagine it had to get there eventually. And I've had it here as well. Like at Vonage, like there's times where I feel like I just can't get out of my way to do stuff. So how I deal with it now is I go and do something that I know I can finish. So if it's a small bit of code or it's review a post, I don't review posts often enough, but when I do, it's generally because I'm trying to get out of my head about something I'm already stuck on.
Look at something else, take a break from what you're working on, step out of body.
Even if it's to go and hoover your room, like just
at least it's a task achieved and you've checked something off in a box that feels like, okay, I've been productive. Now let me go back.
I think it's probably very similar to writer's block, actually. When it's preventing you from writing code, I think it's exactly writer's block, but I think imposter syndrome is very similar. This is just this feeling,
crippling feeling.
It's a crippling feeling of not being good enough and everyone around you being amazing, and it just stops you from producing, and it can be an awful state to be in. And just to go do something that you can finish can just be enough to kind of get you on the right path to finishing what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, with that said, let me add one more.
Now I want to see them in our joining swag from work. The new joiners get water.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I appreciate you sharing your wisdom, your advice with the channel, and being here and being so present with us. And I'm so glad to be on the same team and to have you as a colleague and a friend. Thank you so much for being here with us today. All of you that have joined us in the chat, our recent followers, that copy, what's in my OPSEC, Lucas at 404. Thank you all for giving us a follow and for being here. And then absolutely, who has a lot of time to look into learn C++? Okay, and Java, sure. JavaScript, C#, just to contribute, make some new projects. Yeah, different frameworks. I think that is, you're asking the question.
Yeah.
What should I'm sorry, that was a question. Interesting question. I was about to wrap it up. What are your thoughts, Luke? This is from Lucas at 404.
What should I, as an aspiring dev who has lots of time to look into working on, should I learn JS or C# or contribute on and make new projects using my previous knowledge?
So Lucas has knowledge in Python and Ruby. Or
he's learning C++ and Java. He has knowledge in Python /Ruby. or
But
should you learn something?
Should they learn JavaScript or C? So, and Nick's advice is to learn all of them. But sure,
That's great advice.
there's two thoughts on that, right? I think that's. Oh, you're going to rephrase that question. Go ahead. We'll 2 cents is it's really good at get really good at one thing, learn all the ins and outs, and you'll be able to pivot whatever you. Yeah, that's super fair. I mean, there is an argument to create like a portfolio that demonstrates a full stack portfolio though too, right? Like that is an important factor when hiring. It depends on what you want to go into. And I think that piece is the defining what you're interested in takes time and experience in roles that kind of, as Luke said, he didn't enjoy or like learned that, oh, that wasn't the right one for me. And so that trial and error bit is kind of crucial too.
The jobs that will pay you to know many languages or to be what we call a polyglot developer, someone that can just take a language and do it. They are very rare. They're more like this role, like a writing role about technologies, because I could write about multiple languages.
Yeah.
I would, if I wanted to be an engineer, I would focus on engineering. I would pick a language that I know was still on the increase. So I love PHP, but I may not start PHP today. I would continue mastering it today, definitely, because there's people. Is it Pascal? The boom in Pascal hiring at the moment in the US because there's just not enough people that know that language. So mastering older languages is a good thing, but starting an older language may not be a good thing. Maybe I would look at trends on GitHub and Stack Overflow about what languages are the most popular and what languages.
That's what Benjamin just wrote to, saying, I've lost probably several years by trying to learn all the different frameworks by Googling what's the hottest language.
Yeah, that's
fair. I mean, picking, but that's, choosing based on that research and then committing to it. Hold on, I have to break in one more moment because we now have a new piece of swag that has been created.
I mean, I'm not sure why I would want a balaclava to mask my identity, which has my identity on. Was that a ski mask?
It might be a ski mask, or it could be a COVID mask.
Oh. I would wear a COVID mask with my own face on.
But why not? Oh, great. Thank you. This is a great point too. What stacks are popular in your particular, absolutely.
Geographical areas is a massive determinant. There's loads of PHP houses around here. There's not many JavaScript houses around here. Whereas if you're in the Bay Area, I would learn Go or Node right now.
Me too.
Maybe Java. It's a great point. But there is trends, and if you haven't picked something yet and you haven't specialized in something yet, pick one that you enjoy so that you'll see it through. Something popular that you would enjoy, because there's nothing worse than being on a career path on a language. On a language you hate, or even in the area you hate.
No, this industry is too vast and interesting for you to be in a role that you don't enjoy. And I think it's okay to be in a role for the money. I don't want to disparage that motivation because it's valid, and taking care of your family is a legit reason to do something. But there also are ways to enjoy your role too. And I think that it's a privilege to be able to search for that. But they exist out there. And okay, there's one more. I think I got one more swag bit. Oh my God. It's a LUK on the fingers. Oh my God. All right. No idea is a bad idea. That's a funny one. Whew.
I mean, you wouldn't forget who you were if it was on.
Oh my gosh, I could get nail art. of you, of, like your thoughts. Oh, we've got to get a swag store up. I agree. This has been very silly, very fun. I appreciate you all. If y'all have not gone and signed up for our final Hacktoberfest Tuesday, please, please, please go do it. It is right here.
Starts in a few hours.
Starts very soon. And I'll put the link to sign up. It's not too late to Hacktoberfest. I think you'll all remember how to spell that word. Hit this link. I know, even it's phonetic. It's not a difficult word. It just doesn't make sense in my mind. And you'll be brought to this page, and you can sign up. Not too late to sign up. Come join us. Should be super fun. Luke, as always, thanks so much for joining the stream today.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this. Was a really fun one. I had a lovely time. Stick around and see some mistakes made in just a minute. That's right. Heck yeah. So we have Mistakes Made by Michael Jolly happening, and then after that we have Hacktoberfest. So super fun things.
Have we bumped Michael? Is he waiting for us to?
Have we? Benjamin, you tell us. Let's see what he says. Probably. Got you. Oh my gosh. I'm really. You have rude people. That's my next nail art that I'm getting. I'm not going to. My ex-husband's named Luke, and I don't. That feels.
Yeah,
weird.
that was.
I'm not going to, but it's.
And it's not me either.
No, it's really fun. No. Oh God. There.
That'd be the next question.
See, someone did think we were related. All right, let's go let Bald Bearded Builder take over the stream, and we will watch how many mistakes he makes in that particular one. Look, mistakes were made even before they started. Love you all.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, Luke, for joining us, and we will see you all soon.
Take care. Bye.